Hey there, fashion friends. Welcome to today's episode. I'm very happy that you are here with me today. On today's episode, we are talking about reinventing your wardrobe.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like.
Okay, so why am I talking about reinventing your wardrobe? It is a question that I get quite often, and I think because we've done the decluttering videos, I will make sure to link those down below if you haven't seen those already. I think after you go through and declutter your wardrobe, if reinventing your wardrobe or reinventing your style is something that you're interested in, this is a perfect time to do that because you've kind of gotten rid of all the noise. But before we get into all of that, what I would like to say first is that I think where reinventing a wardrobe or reinventing a style begins is with yourself and with self-love. I do think that it will help in confidence, and I think will help to grow that self-love for sure. But I think that you got to start off with a little bit of self-love, at least a little bit, before kind of diving into your fashion and style. I am a firm believer that styling and a wardrobe can be your suit of armor, that it can build that confidence and sort of help you conquer the things that you want to conquer. Okay, so as somebody that has loved fashion since I can remember, I really genuinely cannot remember a time when I didn't absolutely love clothes, style, fashion, even when I was like 4 years old. I've been through a lot of different, selves, let's say, a lot of style selves. As well as that, I worked in the fashion industry for a really long time, was not only exposed to my own kind of personal style journey, but to other people's personal style journeys. And I know how daunting it can be to try to find your own personal style or to completely start all over again with a new style. Or just to search for new style. I think there's, sometimes people just feel like they don't even know where to look. So to make this process a little less daunting, on today's episode, I'd like to just answer questions that I think people have when it comes to reinventing their wardrobe or style. So it's gonna kind of be a progression of questions. And hopefully with this, my answers to these questions will help make this process a little less daunting, a little less overwhelming, and more of a lovely journey. Okay, so number one is, where do I begin? Yes, I feel like that is for sure, that is the number one question, right? Decluttering the wardrobe is a really good place to start because you get rid of all the noise, you get rid of all the stuff that's kind of distracting you. And it also makes you kind of, again, be very self-reflective and realize like things that you might not like wearing anymore. The most important part is that if you are wanting to reinvent your wardrobe, is to really look at the pieces that you have left over. Try them on, style them different ways, and just kind of figure out what it is that you absolutely love about those pieces. And that's kind of a good way to then progress. That's a good way to, it's a good, those are good things to have as a foundational piece. I think if you are somebody that's wanting to reinvent your wardrobe or style, you might not end up with a lot of stuff left over, but it's very important to take note of those pieces that you do have left over and do still really, really love, so that you have those as sort of a jump off point. And in the end, maybe it will be that you don't love anything in your wardrobe. Maybe it's that nothing in your wardrobe makes you feel like the best version of yourself, and that's okay too. That's why we'll get into everything else. Question number two is, how do I know if I love wearing something or just love the idea of something? So there's two questions you can ask yourself to really try to figure out what things you really love versus things that you just love the idea of. So one of those questions being, what do I always grab for? And the other one is, what do I feel the absolute best in? So these two things will definitely help you figure out the things that you actually love to wear versus the things that you just love the idea of. Because I know that can be confusing sometimes. I definitely have that still to this day. When I'm going through my closet, there's still pieces that when I see it, I'm like, oh, I love this. But it's you can love something, but it might not be the right thing for you. So a perfect example of this is when a single friend asks me what to wear on a date. I get this question a lot. My question is always, what in your wardrobe right now makes you feel the best version of yourself? What makes you feel super good, super confident, very comfortable in your own skin? And if their answer is, well, just like these old pair of jeans that I've had for years, but they fit me perfectly in every right way, and this, you know, old like vintage t-shirt that clings to me in all the right places, but I can't wear that on a date. So that's what you should be wearing on that date. Not the sexy dress that you just bought from the store because you love the idea of it for a first date. But when you put it on, it feels completely foreign to you and foreign to your body. Always wear what you want to wear, not what you think that you should wear. And this goes the same for your wardrobe. Okay, number 3 is, what do I do if I love nothing in my wardrobe? I think some people can go their whole entire life and not ever have found really the style that properly portrays the person that they are, the person that they want to be. For me personally, I think just start small. So one of the things I always suggest for people is getting a pair of black leggings or a pair of black skinny jeans, because these are both very flattering, very slimming sort of pants. And I think no matter what your body type is, it looks good, you know, it looks good. And I think if this sounds crazy to you, if it sounds like this is completely out of your comfort zone, then great. I think that's the whole point of trying to rediscover your style and trying to reinvent your wardrobe. Is I think you do need to step outside of your comfort zone a little bit. You know, kind of scare yourself a little bit, because then once you do that, it kind of makes everything else a little less scary. So if it's not the black legging or the black skinny jeans, choose something, one piece that sort of scares you. It makes you kind of see yourself in a different light, which is exactly what I think people need sometimes, is to see themselves in a different light, in a different perspective. Once you've kind of got yourself out of the comfort zone, unfortunately with COVID, you know, we can't really go out to stores and try a bunch of different clothes on at this point. When stores start to open up again, I would highly suggest going into different stores and just trying on all sorts, just having fun with it. If you can't get out to the stores, then maybe another suggestion is to buy a bunch of stuff online. And if you're able to you know, rack up a high bill, but make sure that you're able to return everything within a reasonable period. And then sort of do the same sort of thing, have an at-home try-on session of a bunch of different styles and just kind of see what you feel the best in. Maybe it's that you borrow clothes from different friends that have different styles that you like. And borrow some of their clothes and have a try-on session with their clothes, and see what works best on you. But ultimately, at the end of the day, what I will say, oh, look at me rhyming, have fun with it and really test and experiment, have trial and error, and just enjoy the process. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with getting help, with, you know, getting some support from a professional or friends, but at the end of the day, you really should be the one making those final decisions. Okay, so question number 4 is, how do I build a new wardrobe? My little rule of thumb is very similar to building a capsule wardrobe, is to start off with anchor pieces. So if you're building a whole new wardrobe, you need to have pieces to build off of. Once you have those, it will make it so much easier to go from there. It'll make it a lot less overwhelming. So everything will end up circling around those anchor pieces that you already know you absolutely love. And in result, everything that is built off of those anchor pieces, you will also love. I think within that as well, when you have your anchor pieces, you sort of establish a color story and a style aesthetic. So it makes it a lot easier to pinpoint the things that you would like to pull into your wardrobe. And that will make it 10 times easier to go and shop and bring new pieces in. to continue those style stories, to continue the color palette. I am planning to do a video in the future on how to build a wardrobe, so I will go into this more, into specific kind of scenarios and tips on how to actually build a wardrobe, how to build a stylistic wardrobe and a functional wardrobe. So definitely stay tuned for that. Question number 5 is, do I buy all at once or over time? So to do that, to kind of try to see if what works for your situation, let's look at these separately. So if you were to buy everything all at once, I think the number one thing that you need to kind of answer is, can I afford to buy everything at once? Because I am one that definitely believes you should not go into debt over fashion. Fashion is very, very important to me, but yes, I don't think there's anything that you should go into debt for. The other question you need to ask is, am I aware of everything that I would want to buy at once? Is it going to overwhelm me to buy everything at once? Now, I can already say to you that I don't normally suggest getting things all at once, for the fact that I think it's a lot more overwhelming, and I think it's difficult to build a wardrobe that you're really gonna love. I don't feel like it gives you the time and the patience to really figure out, you know, the pieces that you absolutely love. To have a wardrobe that is going to all, you know, kind of circle back to each other and really sustain you personally for a long period of time, I don't think that happens overnight. I think it takes a bit of time. Now, obviously, I don't want you to go without having any clothes. So I would say, yeah, like if you don't have anything, if you're starting from ground zero, then I would say, yeah, you need to get a few pieces to obviously sustain you to actually be able to get dressed every day. Now, that's why I will say that this time is probably the most opportune time to reinvent a wardrobe or a style, because we are currently still in lockdown, and I think we will be for, you know, a couple months, or not necessarily lockdown, but, you know, self-isolating. So it's actually an opportune moment for that, because I think you can get away with a lot less currently. So the negatives that you have buying over time is obviously, yeah, it's going to take a lot longer to get there. You know, you're not going to have a full wardrobe right away. So you might have to wear certain pieces over and over again. But I also don't think there's anything bad to that, to wearing pieces over and over again, as I've shown many of times. But otherwise, I think the negatives stop there. Because I do think financially it makes more sense to do things over time, because then you can really, I feel like you can invest in the right pieces, because I think if you buy everything at once, you might not have the same budget for each piece. It allows for you to be able to invest in key pieces that you're gonna love a lot more for years to come, and are gonna last a lot more years as well. But it's a lot of fun to kind of do it over time, because it drags out the process. It makes the process a lot more fun. It's not just all of a sudden over and done and there you go. For me, I like to look at a wardrobe as a curated collection. If you look at somebody who's an art collector, their curated art collection is not something that they just bought all at once, you know, just outright to just get it done with. They've taken time, they've carefully selected, they've only chose pieces that they absolutely love, that absolutely speak to them, and they enjoyed the process over time. And so, yeah, a wardrobe should be just the same. It should be something that you want to take the time to really make sure you're pulling and selecting the pieces that you absolutely love and that you want to have for a very long period of time. Okay, question number 6 is, how will I know which new pieces to pull in? So what is key about those anchor pieces is always looking back to those when you're bringing new pieces in. because what that will do is it will help you stay consistent, because once you find a style aesthetic and a color palette that works for you, that makes you feel like the best version of yourself, just the best formula is to ultimately to stay within those things. Obviously there's a time and a place for stepping outside of those and kind of stepping outside of our comfort zone, for sure. Nothing wrong with that. But I think for the most part, especially when it comes to key pieces, when it comes to key investment pieces, like really nice blazers or a really nice luxury pair of denim, you want to stay within your anchor pieces sort of style aesthetic that it's established. Pretty simple. It's just always reverting back to the anchor pieces as your reference. Okay, and question number 7 is, how do I maintain my new wardrobe? It kind of comes back full circle, right? So at this point now, you know, hopefully you've built a good wardrobe that you're super excited about and it makes you feel really good. And now I think it's just, yeah, it's continuing to be mindful of that wardrobe, and continuing to be mindful of the fact that, yeah, you're gonna go through changes, you're gonna have ebbs and flows. And then as well as that, only focusing on pulling in things that you love and absolutely know is going to work for you stylistically as well as functionally. By just keeping all of these different questions, all of these different steps in mind along the way will ultimately help you to maintain that wardrobe. All right, so there we have it. Those are the 7 questions that I've answered to hopefully help you in your quest to reinventing your wardrobe. Yeah. Fun, good times. So you know what to do next. If you like today's episode, give me that thumbs up, comment below, share with your friends, subscribe for future weekly episodes. If you're already subscribed, make sure to click that bell to get notified when I post new episodes. You have a fabulous, fantastic rest of your day. Stay healthy, stay safe, love, and support each other. We will definitely be chatting soon. Bye.